Hello and welcome to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And today we are going to be discussing on his birthday Samuel Umtiti and his rapid rise at Barcelona, how he's come into the team, how he's developed himself, how he's grown as a player and a person, and who right now for me is definitely by far one of the best centre-backs in world football. He really is on form. A lot of people will come into this, maybe a lot of people maybe haven't watched him over this season so far, but for me with his performances right throughout the season, he's been so consistent so far. Last season he was breaking through, he's establishing himself in the Barcelona team, and right now he is our central figure at the heart of our defence, and I really feel like he deserves some serious recognition. So in this video we are going to be going over his career so far, having a look at his strengths, comparing him as well to some of the centre-backs in world football that are known as the best, and seeing how he compares with some of the real heavyweights in world football. So we're going to start with his signing, which in itself is a very, very good piece of business. We signed him in the summer of 2016, the same summer of course that we signed the likes of Denis Suarez, Paco Alcácer came in, Andre Gomez, Lucas Digne, and that was the kind of summer where we tried to rejuvenate the squad, tried to bring in younger players, and Umtiti was certainly one of those. He was signed originally for 25 million euros, which right now is an absolutely outstanding deal. You think of the modern market, you think of what players are going for, 25 million euros really is a steal, and Lyon will be kicking themselves over that deal. But he was 22 when we signed him. He was very much a regular in Lyon's team. He was very good there. He impressed in Ligue 1. He played in Europe as well at times. But we didn't really know an awful lot about him. We didn't know how he would establish himself at Barca. He was still yet to really make the breakthrough in the French national team. He only really ended up being in France's 2016 Euro squad simply because of the injury, coincidentally enough, of Jeremy Mathieu. So he ended up going to the Euros. He wasn't really played by Deschamps in the Euros for a lot of it. But then there was a suspension in the quarterfinals from Adil Rami. He was suspended, their centre-back, so Deschamps had to really put his faith in Umtiti, and he made his French debut, his debut for the international team in the quarter-final of the Euros in their home nation, and that was against Iceland. He impressed in that game, he was really, really good, and then I distinctly remember the Germany game in the semi-final of those Euros when he really announced himself for him. I actually remember making a video about it after the game. He really did impress, considering that was his second game in the French national team in the semi-final of their home championships, and he really did play well against Germany, putting his body on the line, and everything we saw in that game we should have then come to accept from Umtiti, because that's exactly what he is. He's calm, he's composed, he really hasn't been fazed by the big stage, and we saw it there, and we're certainly seeing it now. So after the Euros, of course, we were all very excited to see him. You know, we were wondering what he was going to bring to the team. All that we sort of knew was that he was a left-footed centre-back, something that would very much suit us. You know, we could play alongside Gerard Piqué and they would complement each other really, really well. We knew that he liked to play out the back, that he suited our style of play. If you look at him, you know, he's not the tallest figure, he's just under 6 foot tall, which for a centre-back isn't really tall at all, so we were wondering how he was going to deal with sort of aerial battles, how strong he was going to be in the tackle, and very, very early on, he impressed, and for that reason, Luis Enrique was sort of forced to bring him in. When he first came in, we didn't really know how much he was going to play, but in that first season, he played an awful lot of football, simply because he impressed so quickly, and he really did make himself known. 25 Liga appearances by the time the season was out. He played in 8 of our Champions League games as well, and alongside Piqué, when he came in, it was Mascherano, it was Piqué, and those two were undisputed centre-backs. He started to displace those. At times, he was really forcing his way in the big games, and you really did see an emergence of a defender there who could bring something special to our team. Very, very early on, there were comparisons with Carlos Puyol, who himself wasn't the tallest guy, but he was certainly somebody who would put his body on the line for the team. He would throw himself in front of anything for the team, and Umtiti was certainly doing things like that. He was very, very good in his defensive play, he was very good at playing out the back, and we were really excited this season for what Umtiti could bring, and what he has brought is an even better game. He's really upped his level, he's become even more mature, he's turned 24 like I say today, and that experience right now is showing. This season for me, he has been absolutely sensational, and in doing that as well, he's established himself now in the French national team. He's got 13 caps to his name, he made 5 starts as France topped their World Cup qualifying group, and he really is moving in a very, very good direction. And in the league this season and the Champions League as well, he has nearly played every single minute. He started 9 of our 11 league games, he's played 90 minutes in all of those 9 games. The 2 games that he was rested in, that was all it was. We just didn't want to overexert him. If he could be in the team every single week, I have no doubt about it that Valverde would pick him, because he has so far been by far one of our best players of the season. You think about Lionel Messi, his performances, you think about Ter Stegen as well, but amongst those two has to be somebody like Umtiti. He's been so good, he's been so reliable, and he really has been a key part of our team and our defence as well. He's played every single minute so far of our Champions League group stage campaign. Really impressive there as well. He's been very good in Europe, and I just think so far this season he deserves credit. And like I said at the start of the video, not everybody will have watched him, and if you haven't watched him, it's probably hard to believe that somebody has come into a club this big and this fast established himself this quickly, but he really has done. He's endeared himself to the supporters, and he really is a star in the making. Now, like I said at the start of the video, what I wanted to do with Umtiti is compare him to some of the world's best centre-backs. Now, the sort of thought of opinion is that sort of Sergio Ramos, Thiago Silva, Giorgio Chiellini, they're all very good centre-backs, right at the top of their game, and right at the top in terms of the best centre-backs in world football. They also represent a few different leagues. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at Umtiti's stats this season compared with Ramos, Silva and Chiellini, and we're going to see how he compares, because for me, like I say, he is definitely up there right now. On current form, you've got to give it to him. He is right up there. Now, what we're going to do is compare them all. If you look at their appearances so far this season, they're all very similar, so the stats do show a true reflection. Umtiti so far has made 9 league appearances, Ramos has made 10, Thiago Silva has made 8, and Chiellini has also made 9. So we're going to look at the tackles per game, we're going to look at interceptions per game. You can see a stat here, how many times they've been dribbled past per game, that's the stat there, and also blocks per game. And you can see from this chart here, Samuel Umtiti ranks among the very best, and even amongst these guys, he looks very good. If you look at tackles per game, Umtiti averages 2 tackles per game, which has not been matched by anyone. Ramos and Silva have both got 1.4, Chiellini only 0.7, Umtiti there clearly top of the pile. When you look at interceptions, Umtiti averages 2 a game, so does Ramos, so does Chiellini, and Thiago Silva is right down there with 0.5. So once again, Umtiti close to the top, joint top there, very impressive. And then the dribble pass stat, Chiellini wins that one, 0.1, a very difficult defender to get round. But in second place, clearly, 0.2 there. Umtiti, very strong, very difficult to get past. You know that because of his athleticism, because of his reading of the game, he's very difficult defender to dribble past, and you can see that is reflected there in the stats. Then Thiago Silva with 0.3, and Ramos there is dribbled past the most out of all 4. Even in blocks, once again, Chiellini comes out on top, widely regarded as by far one of the best centre-backs in the world. Umtiti though in second, 0.7 blocks per game. Then there's Silva, and Ramos there, bottom of the pile with 0.2. So this is just a reflection. Like I say, you cannot judge a game or judge a player by these stats alone, but in comparison with what I'm saying, and if you've watched Umtiti, you will see this in his game. You will see evidence of the quality defending, the great reading of the game, the experience, the confidence that he's showing with every game that goes by, and he really has this season become such a good player. And it's not only that, because you can put him right up there with the very best, but for me, in this Barcelona team, there's something else that really makes him different from all of the rest, and why he suits us so incredibly well. And we're going to move on to the other side of his game now, something that isn't always mentioned with Umtiti, but it's the passing style. It's the way that he fits in with the ball playing centre-back, and his passing stats really do rank as the very highest out of these 4. If you look at them here, we've got average passes per game, and we've got their pass success. Umtiti averages the most passes out of all of them, 81, then there's Ramos with 75, Thiago Silva's got 68, and Chiellini there, 73 passes per game. If you look at the pass accuracy, Silva has the most there, but if you do notice, he's got a lot less passes to complete than Umtiti has. So on average, Umtiti's 92 pass completion is very impressive. Ramos is behind him on 90, and Chiellini there down in 87%. And what this highlights really is Umtiti is so careful on the ball, he's so comfortable when he gets to him, and not only that, a lot of these passes for me are going forward. He always looks to go forward, he always looks to play it through the lines to Busquets, and maybe even through the lines to Iniesta. He's got a real eye for a pass, he can make long passes too, and everything that I've seen from him so far this season, and last season as well, he's a player growing, he's a player that suits us down to a T, and for me, he's outstanding. But, and there is always a but when it comes to Barcelona, there is one very worrying thing for me about Samuel Umtiti, and that lies in his contract. Right now, his release clause is 60 million euros, which might sound like quite a lot of money, but like I said at the start of the video, in the current market, the mega bucks that players are going for, that is not enough. Particularly going into the summer, everybody wants to find a good centre-back. Man United have already been heavily linked with Umtiti. Now, obviously, right now, he's very happy in Barcelona. He's happy with his teammates, he's happy with where he's living, he's very happy with what's going on the pitch. But as you can know in football, people can get their head turned, they will no doubt come up with massive wages, and right now, he's not really one of the big earners at the club. The likes of Mascherano, Paulinho, Arda Turan, Varane, Paco Alcácer, Gomez, they're all currently earning more than Samuel Umtiti, and that release clause in his contract really does scare me. We want to renew his contract. That was an article come out very recently in Sport. Barcelona have got that on their objectives list, but they need to be moving quickly. They need to try and get this done as quickly as possible, although Marcus suggested this might not be completed until after the World Cup, which scares me even more, but we've got to keep our fingers crossed. I've got no doubt at all about Samuel Umtiti's loyalty. He seems very comfortable here, and he's no doubt endeared himself, like I said earlier, to the supporters. We absolutely love him. A very happy birthday to Umtiti himself. Long may this form and long may this player stay at this club, because at 24 years old, centre-backs can go on for a long time, particularly he can, I believe, and we could have a many years of this kind of quality, and that's really exciting. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. What do you think about Umtiti's season so far? Hopefully there's a few people here maybe who aren't fans of Barcelona who are sort of seeing now what Umtiti can bring. If you've got a chance to take a look at his highlights, watch him in a few games, please do that, because you will see evidence of this kind of quality. I will see you for more videos very soon indeed, but until then, as always, Visca El Barça!